What are the challenges facing women in refugee camps after fleeing armed conflict? I'll answer that question in today's video. Hello, good people. Welcome to Dignity, the channel that illustrates how human rights impacts our daily lives. If this is something that interests you, then I invite you to subscribe now and hit the notification icon so that you do not miss future videos. In the second of this two-part series, I'll talk about the challenges that women face in refugee camps, how they can be remedied, and why rape as a weapon of war is a violation of Article 5 of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. In March of this year, the UN Commission on the Status of Women, in partnership with the American Bar Association and the New York State Bar Association, held a panel discussion on sexual violence funding and technology during armed conflict. Dr. Kathy Falvo, a representative of Physicians for Social Responsibility to International Society of Doctors, and who has served during armed conflict in Nicaragua, Haiti, and Algeria, stated that when women reach these refugee camps, not only are they experiencing the physical injury of rape, but also carry with them the emotional and mental scars. In addition, they face the risk of exposure to HIV/AIDS as well as drug resistance. Once a refugee camp is big enough, that's when food is delivered, but not the means for cooking it, which means women have to go outside of the camp to cook the food, which further puts them at risk of rape. Hania Dakat, senior advisor to the UN Population Fund, stated three things in particular. One-third of women of reproductive age are at risk of sexual assault in their lifetime. 2, sexual assault is found to take place in urban as well as rural areas, and therefore ought to be considered an epidemic. And 3, the problem with substantiating these facts is that the data is missing because women are reluctant to report the atrocities for fear of retaliation. Not only from fear of retaliation, but also fear of loss of their children, the stigma that goes with being raped, and the perception of impunity. She further stated that one significant place where reporting can take place is during intake, because that's where women seek care for their children. It's at this point where women can be informed that any information they provide would be confidential and they would not have to fear retaliation. Elizabeth Anderson, director of the American Bar Association's Rule of Law Initiative, identified a holistic approach as necessary in order to address all the issues that women face in a refugee camp. That holistic approach requires collaboration between the medical and the legal communities. One of the reasons that's necessary is because in order for women to obtain the medical care that they need to be forthright with what they experienced. Another problem with the lack of reporting is that it makes it difficult to prosecute the perpetrators in the International Criminal Court, also known as the ICC. The ICC has already recognized rape as a weapon of war and therefore a crime against humanity. Furthermore, as a weapon of war and as a crime against humanity, it's also seen as a form of torture because the purpose of sexual violence during armed conflict is to terrorize communities and destroy families. And since these atrocities take place against civilians, it violates Article 5 of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. However, technology is being implemented with the use of SMS applications to send early warnings. Those warnings would immediately be deleted from phones to prevent retaliation. In the meantime, first responders will be deployed to prevent attacks on villages. Law enforcement is being trained so that they can accurately record the information by phone and file it so that prosecutions against perpetrators can be commenced. So far, of the 500 cases that have been filed in this matter, 75 have been resolved. And while that's a small step, it's a step in the right direction. So if you're in support of resolving the issue of sexual assault during armed conflict, indicate that support by writing #TeamDignity in the comments section. Until next time, be well and remember to live your life with dignity. Bye-bye.